talk about how we survived our first conference weekend. So if you have never been Mormon or maybe don't know a ton, twice a year Mormons hold a general conference, which is where all the higher up leaders of the church talk, and it's 2 days long. There's 5 sessions, and each session is 2 hours long. So by the end of the weekend, it's like 10 hours of conference. And when I was active, once I was an adult and out of my parents' house and not really forced to watch conference, we didn't watch conference super regularly. I would watch bits here and there. I never made my kids sit down and watch it like consistently, maybe when the prophet was on. But again, we kind of had a laid back view of conference. I would try and read the talks afterwards, but I just always found it long and tedious, and it was just not my thing. I did not enjoy conference. It was just one of those Mormon things that made me feel like I didn't fit in because I didn't enjoy conference. I didn't find super amounts of inspiration or upliftment from it. So I honestly didn't think conference would be a big deal. I was like, oh, we never really watched it before. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to be super triggered by conference. I was surprised how hard conference weekend was. And I told myself I was going to stay away from social media. And I tried, but I failed, like, miserably. So it was really hard seeing it all over the place because I do have a lot of Mormon friends, and Mormons are encouraged to post about their religion on social media, and so they do a lot. And that's something for another video I'm going to talk about. But it was really it was a really hard and triggering weekend. And Greg's niece actually asked us, like, well, why is it triggering? And it was a really hard question to describe because when you are Mormon, mostly people find peace and happiness and joy in the gospel, and so they want to share that, and it doesn't make sense to them why, as a post-Mormon, that it might make me upset to hear about it, and mostly it just triggers those feelings of shame and guilt that I experienced a lot in the church, and it's just revisiting all that pain and hurt I had when I was a member of the church is just really hard. And so obviously conference weekend where it's all over the place and you're hearing about it all the time, it was really hard. We had a really hard and awkward experience too. Greg's family does a group text and they just share their lives in the group text, and they were sharing a lot of conference quotes. And again, it was a really hard weekend. It was our first weekend out of the church, and I told Greg, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, it's so painful, and to have it, like, it's not just conference weekend. Like, they would share church stuff quite frequently, and I'm like, it's just never gonna stop unless we say something. And so, or we tried really nicely to say how we were feeling. I want to read you what we said. So all we said is, can we please respect the beliefs of everyone and share this with family that believes and appreciates it? Thanks. And that's kind of all we said. And it kind of started some uncomfortable feelings. I don't know if we handled the situation. Well, we probably didn't handle it 100% correctly, but it just felt like it needed to be said. I felt like the earlier we said it, before we had already listened to a bunch of church stuff, and people were like, but you've been listening for the past year, our text conversation about church. Like, why is it a problem now? So the response to that was kind of like, well, we should be able to share what we believe. And I understand that. And I understood we were the ones changing the game. We were the ones who had changed. They hadn't changed. They weren't purposely throwing church at us or trying to preach to us. That was just their normal conversation. Greg and I just thought about it, and we responded, okay, so if I'm free to share my ideas, would you appreciate me sharing anti-LDS articles? Respect goes both ways. I wouldn't want to make you feel uncomfortable, so I won't, but the talking about the LDS religion makes us uncomfortable. It's not that difficult to make a group text without us. We love you, but we also want to feel comfortable in the group text. And after that, it seemed like people understood. When we kind of like flipped the script and we were like, but it's not fair that you're able to share what you believe and we have to just hear it, but we can't, like, it doesn't go both ways. And so after that, they were like, okay. And then hours went by, and another person in Greg's family got on and was like, I've been quiet, but I think I need to say my piece. And I'm not going to read the text because it's not my words and it's not my place to, but the feeling I got from it was kind of like, if you don't like what's being said in the group text, just ignore it and don't say anything and be quiet. And it was very triggering because that's how I felt in the church. If you don't like something, just ignore it. Just pretend it's not there. Shove it down and just be quiet. Like, we don't want to hear your thoughts and viewpoints, and you just need to sit in the corner and be quiet. And that was really hard. And honestly, it made us really angry because it was a double standard to me. Again, like, they would not want us, and we wouldn't want to put anti-LDS literature at them or say anti-LDS ideas or thoughts, but it was okay for them to talk about LDS ideas to us. And we were really upset, especially because they worded it like, you guys are trying to start a fight. Maybe we could have said it nicer, but we didn't want to start a fight. We just wanted to say this is a boundary for us. This is something that needs to happen so we feel comfortable. And I didn't think it was too much to ask to do a separate group for people who believed. In the modern world, I didn't feel like that was a huge inconvenience for anyone. So I'm like, we have to respond. So we said, we weren't trying to start a fight. We thought we could come to our family with things that were hurting us or bothering us and work it out. We love you all, but it doesn't seem fair to expect us to feel uncomfortable or suffer in silence so everyone else can be happy. We want to feel loved and accepted for who we are. Our family is more than our differences, and there are other things we can talk about and bond over than religion. If this isn't a place where we can come and feel comfortable, then maybe we should be removed from the group text. We know we are the ones who have changed and we are happy in our decision, but if this isn't a place where our feelings and boundaries can be respected, then maybe we shouldn't be here. It makes us sad that our beliefs and feelings are somehow less important than yours. We didn't think it would be a problem for there to be a separate group text where you can discuss Mormonism freely. We are happy you find joy and strength in sharing the gospel together, but when it's shared with us, we feel anxious, upset, and angry. We shouldn't have to feel those feelings when being in a group text with the people who love us. We're sorry this is hard and strange waters we are trying to learn to sail together, but we honestly believe that we can still have a beautiful, fulfilling relationships outside of religion. And there wasn't a lot said after that, honestly. I don't know how Greg's family feels. I don't know. I can't talk for them, but I hope we're making progress in the right direction. Again, like I said, I know this is strange waters. I am not perfect. I have not been perfect in how I've handled situations and things I've said. I've tried really hard to be respectful and understanding, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't go both ways like it should. And that's really hard. Greg and I aren't mad at his family. Since then, we haven't had really any religious things said in the group, which we really appreciate. And I do feel sad we've kind of changed the rules for them. Like, I know that sucks, and I know we're the ones who've changed, and that's hard. And it's not a situation we've really dealt with before, and so there's gonna be a lot of learning and growing that goes along with it. That was our conference weekend. It was really hard. It actually makes me more nervous for October, because again, it's held 2 times a year, once in April, once in October. So every 6 months, we will have to find ways to cope. I've heard it gets easier. So we survived the first one, and hopefully, like everyone says, it just gets easier and it will be better and it won't be so stressful. Thank you guys for watching. If you are also a post member of the church, and you just survived your first conference, or you remember surviving your first conference, leave a comment down below. Tell me how to make it better. Tell me if it gets better. Tell me how it was for you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.